At the point when the fourth era of the Hyundai Santa Fe goes discounted toward the finish of 2018, the brand will be well on its approach to totally relaunching its whole SUV lineup, despite the fact that this redo accompanies a little perplexity. This new Santa Fe is successfully a substitution for the active Santa Fe Sport. The present longer wheelbase Santa Fe will proceed for one more model year, rechristened the Santa Fe XL, until another three-push SUV under another name debuts for the 2020 model year. Alongside the new Kona and power module Nexo, there will be another Tucson and a littler-than-Kona hybrid by 2021, as well. In case you're checking, that is 6 new or updated SUVs 50-50 the same number of years. For the time being, the subject is the new Santa Fe Evergreen Sport and, in light of our drive of South Korea spec vehicles, Hyundai is on a decent track. First of all, the new Ute gaze is more developed upward and nice looking. The back glass is more vertical, a shelter to headroom for the kind of discretionary third push seats, more on that later, and load space. With shorter shades, a more drawn-out wheelbase, more noteworthy length, and somewhat more size than the 18 Santa Fe Sport, inside space is up, as well. Hyundai expanded perceivability by utilizing what it claims is 41% more glass territory than in the active Santa Fe Sport to support the objective markets of purge nesters and families climbing from a vehicle. Hyundai calls its new grille configuration falling, albeit naming facial highlights is a socially awkward act unless your name is Rolly Fingers or Ambrose Burnside. The polygonal plan is accessible in dark or splendid completions and its outline topic continues to the inside, reverberated in components like the seat design and the speaker covers. It's a pleasant outline touch that in part compensates for some hard-looking and feeling plastics, especially on the from time to time touched trim pieces on the lower instrument board. One thing that hasn't changed is the textual style Hyundai utilizes for its switchgear, which helps some to remember us of the frequently mocked Comic Sans. In the event that it doesn't trouble you, you'll adore the dashboard's basic, clear design, finished with a standard 7.0-inch touchscreen infotainment show, 8.0 inches on the off chance that you pick route. At first we dreaded the volume and tuning handles, situated in the lower corners of the infotainment show on the dash, would require a long reach, however both are effectively gotten to from the front seats. Base autos will have an instrument board with a 3.5-inch LCD screen between an ordinary tach and speedometer. In upper trim levels, a simple tachometer and fuel and coolant temperature measures flank a discretionary 7.0-inch virtual group in the instrument binnacle. Contingent upon the driving mode, this show changes its shading subject, blue for normal, red for sport, green for eco, and it can show a computerized readout or a copy of a simple speedometer. Throttle and transmission adjustments change with these modes, in spite of the fact that we discovered little motivation to occupy from normal. For its first model year, the Santa Fe will accompany 2 natural inline-4 motors, the 185 horsepower 2.4-liter and a 235 horsepower turbocharged 2.0-liter found all through Hyundai's lineup, combined with a new 8-speed programmed Transaxle of Hyundai's own outline. All-wheel drive is accessible no matter how you look at it. A speedster the Santa Fe isn't, and its 0 to 60 mph times are anticipated to be in the 7-second range. Beginning in 2020, the Santa Fe will offer a 2.2-liter diesel inline-4 highlighting a variable geometry turbocharger. Selecting the 190 horsepower and 322 pound-feet diesel additionally includes the third line that is discretionary and whatever remains of the world. The 2 extra seats subtract 1 cubic foot of freight space, 36 3D squares to the 2 columns 37, and 1.0 inch of second push legroom. Hyundai concedes the diesel Santa Fe's third line is an infrequent utilized thing. We didn't get an opportunity to pilot any of the U.S. spec motors, yet the new transmission worked wonderfully with the Korean spec 2.0-liter diesel we drove, A motor not bound for our market, never rearranging gears gracelessly, despite the fact that we noticed a couple of jerky begins from a movement light when the standard stop-begin framework was dynamic. We balanced our underlying throttle input, issues settled. Driving in rural sols for the most part congested movement, the 2.0-liter diesel was all that could possibly be needed motor. In all actuality, as far as possible are much lower than we're familiar with back home. However, our underlying hunch is that the 180 horsepower motor would be okay in the US showcase. What's more, if the 2.2-liter works similarly as easily and unobtrusively, it could help support acknowledgement of pressure start in the United States. A guiding column-mounted electric engine gives help and keeps criticism from the 19-inch tires. 17s are standard, 18s are likewise accessible, to a great extent under control. Regardless of the enormous wheels, ride comfort is excellent from the swagger front and multi-link raised suspension. Tire and street commotion is quieted, as well. It wouldn't be another auto without a reiteration of standard and discretionary dynamic security highlights. The new Santa Fe can be had with 6 airbags, forward impact cautioning with mechanized crisis braking, path takeoff cautioning and path keeping help, driver consideration cautioning, programmed high pillars, raise cross movement alarm, and blind side observing with shirking help. That is a really standard bundle of well-being highlights nowadays. Two that are less regular are Hyundai's new Safe Exit Assist and Rear Occupants Alert. Safe exit cautions of an auto, bike, or bike drawing closer from the back and will keep the entryways bolted if there is potential for venturing into activity, an unplanned entryway expulsion, or a bicycle emissary clothesline. The rear occupants alert uses ultrasonic sensor in the main event to recognize and after that caution the driver, with either the horn or through an application on an associated advanced mobile phone, when there is development in the back of the auto by either a kid or a pet. Official evaluating and EPA efficiency gauges are additionally pending, however Hyundai has said that it expects an expansion in the 3 to 4% go. That would put the joint EPA number at around 24 miles per gallon for the generally $26,000 base, front drive, 2.4-liter model and 22 miles per gallon for an all-wheel drive 2.0T. At the point when the Santa Fe hits merchants in the final quarter of this current year, a stacked 2.0T AWD will cost about $40,000. At that point, Hyundai's new lineup will be less confounding, we trust.